Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're stripping away all those shiny, social media filtered myths of success. You know the ones. Instead, we're uncovering the intense, internal realities of true peak performance. We're diving into some deeply powerful source material today that reveals exactly what separates the truly great from the permanently average. Let's get right into it. I want to kick things off with a hard-hitting truth straight from our source material. Quote, "Consistency is having a goal, and when you wake up that day and you don't feel like it, you still do what you told yourself you was going to do." End quote. Basically, success isn't just about avoiding failure, right? It's a relentless mindset. It's about executing your plan even when you are totally exhausted and have absolutely zero desire to get out of bed.
Which brings us to section 1, doing the inner work, fixing the foundation.
So we're going to build this blueprint for peak performance step by step. And we have to start with the critical difference between the mere image of success and the hard reality of actually sustaining it. On the left side here, we've got the external work. This is the stuff everyone focuses on, right? Chasing money, curating what you post online, the car you drive, basically constantly seeking validation from everyone else. But look at the right side. That is the inner work. Fixing your mindset, becoming fiercely authentic, and really getting comfortable with who you are behind closed doors. The source material makes this so incredibly clear. If you only do the external work, your life is basically built on sand. It's doing this unglamorous, behind-the-scenes inner work that actually stops your life from crashing down when the pressure inevitably hits. And a massive part of that inner foundation involves something very specific: vision. And we're defining that as the ability to see the end before you even get started. The source emphasizes that peak performers, they don't just react to their day. No, they define their vision. They literally write their dreams down multiple times a day. Why? To get those goals out of their heads and pull them into reality. It's about actively shaping your mindset instead of letting whatever random daily circumstances dictate your mood. To really see the power of that vision in action, just look at this timeline. We go from earning a GED in year 1 to knocking out a 4-year degree in year 4, grabbing a master's by year 6, a PhD by year 10, and then writing books and doing commercials by year 12. And guys, this isn't some theoretical exercise. This is the actual progression highlighted in our source material of a high school dropout who literally lived in abandoned buildings. Step by step, they attacked what everyone else called impossible. It just goes to show that when you map out the vision, the impossible is really just a series of deliberate, disciplined steps. Moving right along to section 2, extreme ownership, taking back the keys. Okay, so you can have all the vision in the world, right? But it means absolutely nothing without radical accountability. You are the greatest common denominator. The crucial point here is a pretty painful, yet entirely necessary realization. The source argues that your current situation is largely a physical manifestation of your own thoughts, your own choices, and your own actions. Think about it. If you look closely at every failure or frustration in your life, there is exactly one person present at the scene of every single crime: you. And that leads us directly into the extreme cost of blaming others. When you blame someone else, even if they were completely unequivocally wrong, you lock yourself right into a victim mindset. You're letting past trauma dictate the next 40 to 50 years of your life. And maybe most importantly, you literally hand them the keys to your life. You give yourself an instant excuse to avoid doing the really hard work required to change your reality. Now look, the source acknowledges that past pain from parents or bad circumstances is completely valid and real. But blaming them? That just gives your power away to the exact same people who hurt you, instead of forcing you to look in the mirror. Snatch those keys back and demand better of yourself today. Next up, section 3, the power of preparation, practicing in the dark. So, if we've taken back the keys, how do we actually back up our vision with action when the pressure is truly on? Why would I pass the ball to you? This brings us to an absolutely fascinating anecdote from the source material about the late, great basketball legend Kobe Bryant. He once confronted a teammate who felt entirely entitled to get the ball during the final, intense, high-pressure minutes of a critical game against the Boston Celtics. The teammate was frustrated, practically begging for the ball, and Kobe responded with this exact chilling question. Now, why would he ask that? Well, because he observed the exact hallmarks of poor performance. Kobe listed his exact observations right to that teammate's face. He talked about him sleeping or dozing off during film study, playing on his phone while the coach was speaking, partying in South Beach after a crushing loss instead of getting back in the gym, and the ultimate flaw? Believing that simply making the team somehow guarantees playing time. Kobe used this moment to highlight that average players constantly expect championship results from practice squad behavior. You simply cannot fake preparation when the spotlight finally turns on.
In stark contrast to that entitlement, it took 3 solid hours. While his teammates were out partying in Miami after a loss, Kobe Bryant spent 3 solid hours practicing. And he wasn't just casually shooting around, he practiced the exact same shot he had missed in the game over and over again for 3 hours straight. This right here proves that true professionals earn their moments in the dark way before the crowd is ever watching. They practice for the opportunity before the opportunity even arrives.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, Extreme Urgency, Seizing Fleeting Opportunities. This incredible level of preparation leads us directly into our final theme for this explainer, because as the source warns, opportunity waits for absolutely no one. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world. Step 1, someone at your job quits or gets fired, creating a sudden unexpected opening. Step 2, the prepared person immediately seizes that next level, right? Because they've been studying for it in the dark for months. Step 3, the unprepared person is left standing there waiting, wondering why they were passed over. The message here is striking. You cannot sit around playing video games, waiting for the phone to ring or for an opportunity to just be handed to you on a silver platter. You have to practice for the opportunity before it even exists. That way, the very second the door cracks open, you are completely ready to strike. Because the brutal truth is this: opportunities are fleeting. If you miss your shot in Game 6, you probably aren't getting it in Game 7. The source brings up this really painful sports memory: the San Antonio Spurs missing 2 critical shots in a championship series and completely losing their chance at history. They didn't get a do-over. Just like that, your own life-changing opportunity might only present itself exactly once. You might have one single window to completely change your family's trajectory. You absolutely cannot afford to play it timid or just assume you're going to get another chance next year. We've covered a massive amount of ground today, from doing the unglamorous inner work all the way to the ruthless nature of true preparation. I really want to leave you with this final provocative thought directly from the source material. If you know you're going to die, why are you living your life on someone else's terms? Seriously, are you truly imposing your will on your own life, taking the keys back and doing the hard work in the dark? Or are you just talking about it, sitting around waiting for someone else to pass you the ball? Think deeply about that as you go through your day. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.